You guys don't know what Project Veritas is, which I'm sure you do. I feel like you do. They are a news media corporation that goes and they kind of go like undercover and out people for corruption and certain things that they're doing that they should not be doing, you know? So the last huge one they did was on Pfizer, who possibly could be doing gain of function research. Then they also cornered like the head of safety for YouTube. So and then that was a backlash. Like I can't even share those videos with you on YouTube. But the face of Project Veritas is James O'Keefe, and the news is coming out. It actually came out a couple days ago that for some reason Project Veritas's board members decided that James needed a leave of absence. So this guy Swig, we're gonna go on his page because he's definitely been on top of everything. I did start following him. He's already gained, I think, like 20,000 followers over like 24 hours. It starts off, a whistleblower has contacted me about the news that James O'Keefe was put on leave and stripped of all authority at Project Veritas. This is difficult for me to publish as a staunch supporter of PV for years and even a VIP at their events. But what is happening to James O'Keefe is unconscionable. All right. So he's saying it's like a hostile takeover. He's a victim of poor corporate structure as PV is two separate orgs, 501c3 and a 501c4. The C4 has more board members. According to the source, the situation has allowed two alleged ringleaders of this attempt to push James out to have significant sway over the others, despite their reasons to be essentially meritless. The ringleaders of, the board members of the ringleaders are Matt Tierman, who's the ringleader, John Garvey, George Skakel, John Barton, not the congressman, Steve Allenbeck, CFO Tom O'Hara, and then there's this guy Barry Hinckley who uses pronouns he him. And so they had like a 6.5 hour struggle session with James O'Keefe where they put him through like derision and insults. They basically were saying like, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, or whatever. And then about 10 employees aired grievances about James, for which essentially boiled down to him being a tough boss to work for. At the end of the 6 hour struggle session, Turman and his fellow board members, John Garvey, put him on leave, stripped him of all authority. 16 employees were saying James has become a power drunk tyrant. The letter says to Project Veritas Board of Directors, Project Veritas Action Board of Directors, and Executive Management. The opinions shared and anecdote were compiled by 1/3 of PV staff representing every department. Not all signed this letter, but all had compelling reason to contribute. Some signatories have not been the subject of abuse or nor witnessed any abuse, but found the corroborated behavior troubling and were willing to sign. So you hear that? Some of the people signing weren't abused or seen any abuse, but they signed anyway. So, well, how many of the people? Some of us, most, all, maybe one person was abused. I don't know. The undersigned are troubled and frustrated with James' management style and business acumen. These behaviors and actions are antithetical to our core values, and it came to head this week. Most recently, the treatment of Barry Hinckley and Tom O'Hara. And then see, there we go. Barry Hinckley is the guy with the he, him. These two highly respected individuals did what they thought was right for the betterment of the organization and got paraded in public on Tuesday and effectively terminated by Thursday. Okay. Team, last night I stood up to a bully. So this is Barry Hinckley telling the team. Last night, I stood up to a bully and was fired. Management by shaming and bullying is never acceptable and it doesn't belong in the workplace. I don't tolerate it personally or on behalf of my coworkers, directors, reporters. I'm proud to say I stand by my actions. It was an honor to have worked with you. As they say, be brave, do something. I'm okay. So these actions led to immediate communication between concerned PV members. Over the past 2 days, we collected additional examples of behavior which crossed the line. The following bulleted items came from individuals and are edited as little as possible to keep the spirit of everyone's individual thought. James has become a power drunk tyrant, and he is exactly who he pontificates on, who we should be exposing. I'm on the side of holding James accountable for his behavior that has damaged important relationships inside and outside of PV. So this is how these videos become too long. So I'm trying to parse everything. But if you guys want more information, I will be discussing this on my live today. And I'm hoping you guys got this far into the video. I'm going live and I will be talking about this in further detail. But the fact is, this guy, Hinckley, I can tell by his whole, like, I stood up to a bully, I did it for us guys, be brave, do something. These are the kind of words that work on people's emotions. I'm not there. I don't know what's going on at Project Veritas, but what I can say is when you got to go through all this to find evidence on somebody doing something wrong, that means 9 times out of 10, there's not really much of something wrong happening. Somebody did something like stealing money because there was this thing that he might have embezzled money. If somebody did something like that, was I feel like that has a paper trail that's easy to prove. If somebody was really abusing staff, you start the paper trail. It becomes easy to prove. It's just the whole thing about, well, people signed but they didn't see it. I don't know him. I'm sure he probably had his days, where he probably was a little rough. It must be really hard to run a corporation like that. And so I'm not saying it's right, but I don't know. I mean, I got to see more information. But what I will say is that I've seen this happen. Like, I just feel like we are in a generation today where people feel like they should not be told if they're doing something wrong. Constructive criticism does work, but sometimes constructive criticism can't always come with a Coke and a smile. And people feel some type of way about that, and then they want to say you did something wrong to them. Listen, I don't know. I wasn't there, but I've seen that happening in other places. So we'll watch and we'll see what happens. But one thing I know for sure, if they go with this move, the donors leave. But here's one theory. I felt like I was like, I think they want to get rid of him because he's actually doing reporting on like things like Pfizer, YouTube, and stuff like that. And so those kind of stories need donors. They need people who believe in the mission, and people believe in the mission. But sometimes you don't get as rich and famous as you want to. But for him, he's probably like, I would imagine, he's probably like, yo, I don't need to be the richest guy on the block. I just need to be comfortable. And I also just need to be able to have the resources to bring the story to the people. There are people though, when you bring the board into the board could look at it and be like, we could be making bigger bucks because if we start doing certain kind of stories, maybe stories about, finding people on the right who are doing something bad to the trans activists or something like that, right? Because that's the new move. Okay. Something ideological that's being victimized by straight white males. Networks are willing to pay a lot of money for it, right? And then now Project Veritas already has the reputation of doing some underground, real grassroots reporting. Okay, I think that they want to go with a more ideological vision for this company. I feel like, and they know CNN, MSNBC, they will pay big money because again, these people. Project Veritas has done a legwork to make itself a reputable company. So any story now that gets put out without James O'Keefe, people are going to be quick to believe it. That's my theory. You guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys at the next video.